This is a 2005 Toyota Highlander. It's here because there's a whole lot of noise coming from the back end of this vehicle when you're going down the road. I suspected this wheel bearing. I've replaced every one on the vehicle except this one, and it's whopped right out. It's loose. So these are easier than the front. The fronts are press bearings. These are actually a hub assembly that unbolts, so they're a little bit easier. So lug nuts are 21 millimeter on this. Pull out on that if you can. You can see that I put brakes on this not too long ago. Had I not, hit this with a hammer just to jar the rotor loose and pull out on it if you can. It'll push that piston back in. That makes taking the caliper off and putting it back on a lot easier. I'm taking off the caliper bracket, this piece right here that the caliper actually bolts to. We're not servicing the brakes, so we don't need to take the brake pads off. It's a 17 millimeter. And there's two of them back there. This is a 30 millimeter 12 point, which is pretty common on all the import, well, mostly import vehicles. You'll see the inside of that socket. I think there's two standard I want to say it's like a 32 and a 30. This is a 30. But I'm going to leave that tight for now because this bearing is already so loose. When I pull these bolts out right here, this nut actually pinches everything and holds everything together. And I'm going to beat on this with a hammer and to get it off of the vehicle. And once I get it loose, then I'll take that nut off. I don't want to take that nut off yet because I'll just actually pull the flange right out of the bearing. One thing good about these bearings is here's the new one. You can see you got a good probably 3 inches of leverage by hitting it out here on the flange. So if not, I got the slide hammer, but I don't think I'll have to. I believe these. Yeah, those are also 17 millimeter. You can get them right through these holes. There's 4 of them, 17 millimeter. Stuck. Does not want to come out. They are just rusty. This is an '05 and it's got 200,000 miles on it, so everything's a little rusty. All right, 3 out of 4. It's not cooperating. Pause the video here so you guys don't need to get bored of this. I'm going to turn the air compressor on to get that bolt out. I'll be back in a second. I finally got the stubborn bolt out. I just sprayed some penetrating oil in there and kind of ran it in and ran it out, kind of like you know, when you get your vehicle stuck or something, you kind of rock it back and forth, you get it out, and I was successful. So let's pull this assembly out of here. Already moving. That leverage helps out quite a bit. Well, hopefully this axle nut will come off, because that axle stub is real rusty. I didn't want to loosen it up until I get that bearing loose. See what happens. Nothing to it, right? I'm putting it back on because the axle is stuck in here. I'm going to give her a couple of love taps, see if we can get it moving. There we go. Okay, now the backing plate's stuck, of course, right? Now this particular bearing doesn't have the speed sensor or the tone ring in it. The tone ring, well, it might have the tone ring in it. No, the tone ring's on the axle, and this is the actual speed sensor coming down right here. So if you pick one up from the parts store and your vehicle is ABS, of which these probably all have ABS, and you don't get the wire, don't panic. That's what I... You'll notice that it's not a perfect square flange. These two are wider than these two, so that'd be the top. You see the top is wider than the bottom. I love anti-seize. Just in case I ever got to take this thing apart, it'll come apart a little easier for me next time. Maybe it won't. Who knows? What I don't like about these is these are all captured holes. These holes don't go anywhere. So the problem with that nut, I couldn't spray it on the backside because it's a dead end. I mean, the hole just goes in. It's not exposed on the backside, and I couldn't heat it because right there is our sensor. So, well, it was giving me fits. You guys thought I was going to run it right down with that, didn't you? I got the torque wrench set at 217 foot-pounds, which is what this bearing calls for. I just use the impact gun to get it close, so I don't have to do this the whole time. Thought I was close. Okay, there we are. All right. hammering that off, I hit this and bent it. I don't want it to rub and make all kinds of gruesome noises. Spread our pads out just to make sure. Boy, I am dropping everything today. All right. And that is it. I'm going to put the wheel back on, torque the lug nuts, and drop it down and test drive it. I hope this helps somebody. If it did, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that subscribe button.